I'd like to now, if I may, come to the Legionella test results. Perhaps you'd have a look at them first and then tell me what you see.
Yeah. Okay, so these are test results that have been returned from Public Health England in Colindale.
Test results on what?
These are test results on samples that have been taken post-mortem from JN. So these are clinical specimens.
So the specimens from where, his lungs?
Yes.
So that's where the organism would have grown?
Yes, yeah.
And what would they do? They'd try and grow it first and then send them off, would they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they grow the germ in your hospital laboratory, presumably.
No, these were sent directly to...
they sent the sample off to where is that?
Colindale.
That's the reference laboratory, is it?
In London, yeah.
Yeah, North London.
Yeah.
Okay.
And similarly, samples that were taken from the shower, head and hose in the image you've just seen.
In that, from this hose here?
Yes.
Okay, and I presume there's more than one sample. They took samples from other places.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And would they send them off directly to Colindale, the water samples?
These were, yes.
These were, okay. And they grow the germ from these samples, presumably. Yes. Like I've seen in your laboratory, there's petri dishes where they grow the germ from the lungs and from the shower hose. Okay. Then what happens?
So they grow them and then they do some tests.
It's obviously a bit more than some tests, isn't it?
Well, they do tests to try and identify them further.
So what does that? What are the results?
Well, what these results
there
are showing is that essentially the results for both samples, from the clinical specimen from JN and the specimen from the shower head and hose, are indistinguishable.
And how much? In brief, I don't want to going to be too technical. How much detail do they go into to be able to say
that? Quite a lot. They do sort of DNA analysis of the two.
All right. So it's like sort of genetic fingerprinting. You're
yes,
getting,
exactly.
You hear about on the in court, from whatever someone's charged with, whatever.
That's a good way of describing it.
Is it?
Yes.
Would that be fair?
Yeah.
So it's done for Legionella, and you use the term indistinguishable. Are they the same?
Well, no microbiologist is going to say that they're the same, but they are indistinguishable.
Well, when I've looked at that, it says they've both got the same DNA profile, and but you're saying and they say it's indistinguishable.
I think that's the microbiological term.
Okay, I'm not going to press you on that. You're not that laboratory. It's something we'll obviously get evidence from the laboratory to confirm that. Would it be fair to say, and this is perhaps the last question for you, that it's almost certain as it can be, as certain as it can be, that Mr. JN acquired his Legionnaire's disease from that bathroom facility, somewhere in there, not necessarily that hose, but from that bathroom facility, because there were other positive samples, weren't there?
There are, and I think...
would it be fair to say that?
I think there's a very...
Can it be as certain as you can be?
I can never be certain, but I could...
As you can be, though.
Well, what I would say is I think there's a very good chance, given that the two isolates share the same sequence base time, same DNA.
Because there are lots of different types of Legionella bacteria.
There are, and the fact that these are the same, or indistinguishable, is a good indication.
You said the same there, and I think that's probably what most people would think that would be.
Yeah, and that's a reasonable interpretation. That and the incubation period for Legionnaire's disease, and the time taken,
so
time when JN's
4 or 5 days after he leaving hospital, he became ill and had his shower and so on. That fits in with the incubation period?
It does.
So it's all looking rather clear, isn't it?
I think the evidence is pointing in that direction.
What I have to tell you now, Dr. McDermott, is that I've been listening to you and you've signed these documents, that I've formed the conclusion for the following reasons. The fact that the temperatures were wrong, they were low, hot water temperatures in Nightingale were wrong, that there was a significant period when, despite some efforts, no action was taken to get this calorifier working again quickly. I know you considered it and you tried, but nevertheless 10 weeks is quite a significant period. in our view. All the records point to the fact that the temperatures in his room would have been the same and wrong, despite the fact they weren't taken directly. And the Legionella test results, which you have here, make it pretty clear that it's highly likely that he caught the Legionnaire's disease combined with the incubation period. Having formed that conclusion, and you confirmed at the last questions I asked you about the germ, or the two germs, the TAPS and his lungs, that I have concluded that there's a possibility that you and your trust may have committed a health and safety offence. Health and safety offences are criminal offences, and under the requirements of PACE, when an officer, such as myself, forms that conclusion, I am obliged to caution you. And the caution is made so that you are aware that if you say anything else, it will be taken down and used as evidence. Now do you understand what I'm trying to explain?
So are you saying
All these things have added up to me that
I've committed an offence?
I don't know that. I'm saying you may have. What I'm saying is I've listened to the evidence.
Okay.
I've put it all together, and I'm minded that you and all the trust together may have committed an offence.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do now is to caution you as follows. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. I only have one final question for you, Dr. McDermott, is do you understand that caution?
I do.
You do. Since I would be taking down evidence from you if you say anything else, I suggest that we terminate this interview as of now. Thank you for coming.
Okay.